What makes a man stand up against one of the most powerful institutions in the world? What inspires someone to risk everything for what they believe to be true? This is the story of Martin Luther, the German monk whose actions changed the history of the world and also gave rise to one of the significant movements in the world, one of the significant movements of all time, which is the Protestant Reformation. Understand about Martin Luther, we must first understand the world he lived in. It was the late 15th century, and Europe was dominated by the Catholic Church. The Church wielded immense spiritual and political power, dictating how people lived, worshipped, and even thought. Salvation was believed to be earned through rituals, indulgences, and unwavering obedience to the church. For many, faith was mixed with fear, and the hope of heaven seemed out of reach for ordinary people. At the same time, the world was changing. The Renaissance had sparked new ideas, encouraging people to question authority and seek knowledge. The invention of the printing press made it possible to spread ideas faster than ever before. It was in this climate of tension and transformation that Martin Luther emerged, a man who would defy the odds and ignite a revolution that changed religion, society, and the course of history forever.
The story about Martin Luther begins in 1483 in Elsbeth, Germany, where a boy named Martin Luther was born to a hard-working miner's family. Life was simple back then, but expectations were high. Martin's father had dreams of him becoming a lawyer, a path to wealth and status. Martin then continued his path to continue the legal studies, followed his dad's wishes.
However, everything changed on a stormy night in 1505. Martin is caught in a violent thunderstorm with lightning flashing around him and the thunder rumbling like the voice of God. Overwhelmed by fear, he falls to his knees and cries out, "Saint Anne, help me, and I will become a monk." Martin screams out. True to his word, Martin abandoned his legal studies and entered an Augustinian monastery after that. Once there, Martin devoted himself to the rigorous life of a monk. Through fasting, prayer, and confession, he sought to earn God's favor. Yet, despite his efforts, he found no peace. Instead, he was consumed by guilt and an intense fear of divine punishment. This relentless anxiety led him to ask a question that would haunt him. How can a sinner like me ever be saved, God? Martin said. It was during his deep study of the scriptures that Martin finally discovered an answer. While reading Paul's word in Romans, which says, "The Jews shall live by faith," he experienced a profound revelation. At last, he understood that salvation was not something to be earned through good works, but rather a gift freely given by God through faith.
In 1570, Martin Luther became a professor of theology in Wittenberg. His study of the Bible made him believe that something was very wrong with the church. One thing that made him very angry was the sale of indulgence. The church, through people like Johann Tetzel, told people that if they bought indulgence, they could reduce their time in purgatory or help save their loved ones. Tetzel even had a famous saying, as soon as the coin in the covering the soul from purgatory spirits. Luther wanted to start a debate, but what happened was much bigger than he expected. Thanks to the newly invented printing press, the 95 theses spread quickly across Europe. Many people started to question the church authority and agree with Luther's idea. Salvation comes through faith alone, not through indulgence or church rituals. Luther could not stay silent. On October 31, 1570, he wrote the 95 Theses, a list of statements that question in church's practice and the authority of the Pope. He nailed the document to the door of the Wittenberg Case Church, which was a common way to invite discussion. Of course, the Catholic Church was not happy. Luther was called a heretic and the Pope sent a letter ordering him to take back his ideas. But Luther refused. He publicly burned the letter to show that he would not back down.
Okay, in 1521, Martin Luther was summoned to the Diet of Worms, a council of leaders and nobles, including the Holy Roman Emperor. They demanded that Luther take back everything he had written, ideas that had already spread across Europe. This was a defining moment. And instead of giving in to fear, Luther stood his ground. He boldly declared, "Here I stand, I can do no other, so help me God." With those words, he made it clear that his beliefs were stronger than any threat. This act of courage made Luther an outlaw, meaning his life was in constant danger, but he had allies. Frederick the Wise, a German prince, helped him escape to Wartburg Castle, where he stayed hidden. Even in hiding, Luther didn't stop his work. At Wartburg, he translated the New Testament into German, and this was groundbreaking because for the first time, everyday people could read the Bible in their own language, and it gave them the chance to connect with their faith personally without needing a priest to guide them. Luther's actions sparked a wave of change. Reformers across Europe like John Calvin and Ulrich Zwingli built on his ideas and spreading the Reformation further. But Luther wasn't just a thinker, he was a man who lived his values. He married Katharina von Bora, a former nun, and together they created a new example of family life centered on faith, love, and partnership. And by the time Luther passed away in 1546, his work had reshaped Christianity and given people the power to explore their faith for themselves. And the lesson from Martin Luther's life is powerful. Sometimes standing up for what you believe in is not easy. It can come with great risk, but when you hold on to your convictions with courage and trust in what is right, you can create change that lasts for generations. Luther's story reminds us that change doesn't start with large crowds or powerful armies. It starts with one person willing to take a stand. His faith, courage, and determination show us that even when the odds seem impossible, one voice can make a difference in the world.